Great scenes from great plays, starring Walter Hamden.
Good evening. This is John Daly. Beginning tonight, the families of the Episcopal Church in your community bring you each week at this time the Episcopal Actors Guild and invite you to share the dramatic inspiration of great scenes from great plays as transcribed by famous artists of the American theater. Our play tonight is Cyrano De Bergerac by Edmond Rostand, and our star in the role of the unforgettable Cyrano, the incomparable Walter Hamden.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Daly.
Mr. Hamden, knowing that Cyrano has been in your repertoire for many years, I'm sure that you feel it's a great play, not for any particular age, but for all time.
Well, I'm convinced, Mr. Daly, that because of its romance, if for nothing else, Cyrano will remain forever young and forever new. But even more than that, the play's greatness lies in its power to lift us out of ourselves and so lead us toward a deeper spiritual understanding. And for that reason, I'm delighted to join with the Episcopal Actors Guild this evening in recreating two of its greatest scenes. I'm sure that the sheer nobility of Cyrano's character will illustrate the inspiration to which this new series is dedicated by the Episcopal families who sponsor it.
As you're about to step into the role itself, Mr. Hamden, what about this amazing character, Cyrano?
Well, I think Rostand pictures him best through the words of one of his friends, who said that Cyrano was the best friend and the bravest soul alive. Poet, swordsman, musician, philosopher. But even with all these attributes, Cyrano becomes sad and melancholy whenever he speaks about love. Think a moment, think of me. Me whom the plainest woman would despise. Me with this nose of mine that marches on before me by a quarter of an hour. Oh, I have no more illusions. Now and then, I may grow tender, walking alone in the blue cool of evening through some garden fresh with flowers after the benediction of the rain. My poor big devil of a nose inhales April, and so I follow with my eyes where some boy, with a girl upon his arm, passes a patch of silver. And I feel somehow, I wish I had a woman too, walking with little steps under the moon and holding my arm so and smiling. And I dream and I forget, and then I see the shadow of my profile on the wall. My friend, I have my bitter days, knowing myself so ugly, so alone. Cyrano never knew, even at his death, that his only great love was returned. That was the tragedy of his love for Roxane.
Well, tonight we have Miss Anne Seymour to play Roxane, who creates grace in her own image, the personification of the adage that love is blind. So on now to Cyrano de Bergerac and the story of his love for the exquisite Roxane, who, alas, loves young Christian, a brother-in-arms from Cyrano's own regiment. But most of all, the story of how Cyrano wins Roxane for Christian, even as his own heart is breaking. Look, Paris dreams, nocturnal, nebulous, under blue moon beams hung from wall to wall, nature's own setting for the scene we play. Yonder, behind her veil of mist, the Seine, like a mysterious and magic mirror, trembles. Cyrano, hopelessly in love with Roxane, knows it is Christian she really loves. But Christian fears that once Roxane hears him speak, she will despise him, and Cyrano asks,
"But why, Christian?"
Because I am a fool. I have a sort of rough and ready soldier's tongue, I know that. But with any woman, paralyzed, speechless, dumb, I can only look at them. Oh, if I had words, to say what I have here.
If I could be a handsome little musketeer with eyes.
Besides, you know Roxanne, how sensitive. One rough word, and the sweet illusion gone.
I wish you might be my interpreter.
I wish I had your wit.
Borrow it, then. Your beautiful young manhood. Lend me that, and we two make one hero of romance.
What?
Would you dare repeat to her the words I gave you day by day?
But, Cyrano...
But, Christian, why not?
I am afraid.
I know, afraid that when you have her all alone, you lose all. Have no fear. 'Tis yourself she loves. Give her yourself. Put into words. My words upon your lips.
But your eyes, they burn like...
Will you?
Does it mean so much to you?
It means a comedy, a situation for a poet. Come, shall we collaborate? I'll be your cloak of darkness, your enchanted sword, your ring to charm the fairy princess.
Now, in the Paris night, the two musketeers have come to Roxanne's garden. It's almost time now as they stand before Roxanne's house, half hidden in the shrubbery. Over the door is a balcony and a tall window, and the two musketeers are all but indistinguishable in the darkness, except for the long white plume of Cyrano's hat, symbol of his courage. And now Christian appeals to Cyrano.
Help me. I cannot live unless she loves me. Now, this moment.
How the devil am I to teach you now, this moment?
Look, up there, quick.
Her window.
Well.
It does seem fairly dark. Let's try what can be done. Stand over there. Idiot, there, before the balcony. Let me stand underneath. I'll whisper you what to say.
She may hear, she may.
Call her.
Roxanne.
Wait. Here. This gravel at her window. There.
Who is calling?
Christian, I had to tell you...
I love you.
Now be eloquent. You have your theme. Improvise. Rhapsodize.
I love you evermore.
And ever more and more.
And ever more and more.
But tell me why you speak so haltingly.
Christian, this grows too difficult. Let me stand there. I'll take your place before the balcony, and you take mine here underneath.
Has your imagination gone lame? Your words tonight hesitate. Why?
Through the warm summer gloom, they grope in darkness toward the light of you.
My words, well aimed, find you more readily.
My heart is open wide and waits for them, too large a mark to miss. Moreover, yours fall to me swiftly, mine will slowly rise.
Yet not so slowly as they did at first.
They've learned the way, and you have welcomed them.
Am I so far above you now?
So far, if you let fall upon me one hard word out of that height, you crush me.
I'll come down.
No.
Stand you on the bench. Come nearer.
No.
And why so great a no?
Let me enjoy the one moment I ever... my one chance to speak to you. Unseen.
Unseen?
Yes. How can you know what this moment means to me? You've never heard till now my own heart speaking. But tonight I indeed speak for the first time.
For the first time, your voice even is not the same.
How should it be? I have another voice tonight, my own, my self-daring. Oh, where was I? I forget, forgive me. All this is strange, like a dream, sweet like a dream. Love. I love beyond breath, beyond reason, beyond love's own power of loving. Your name is like a golden bell hung in my heart. And when I think of you, I tremble, and the bell swings and rings. Roxanne, Roxanne. Along my veins, Roxanne.
Yes, that is love.
Yes, that is love. That wind of terrible and jealous beauty blowing over me. That dark fire. That music. Yet love seeketh not his own. Dear, you may take my happiness to make you happier, even though you never know I gave it you. Only let me hear sometimes all alone the distant laughter of your joy. I never look at you, but there's some new virtue born in me, some new courage. Do you begin to understand a little? Can you feel my soul there in the darkness, breathe on you.
Yes.
Oh, but tonight, now, I dare say these things. I to you, and you hear them. It is too much. In my most sweet, unreasonable dreams, I have not hoped for this. Now let me die, having lived. It is my voice, mine, my own, that makes you tremble there in the green gloom above me. For you do tremble as a blossom among the leaves. You tremble, and I can feel all the way down along these jasmine branches, whether you will or no, the passion of you trembling.
Yes, I do tremble, and I weep, and I love you, and I am yours. And you have made me thus.
What is death like, I wonder? I know everything else now. I have done this to you. I myself. Only let me ask one thing more.
One kiss.
One?
Christian, you go too far.
You asked me for...
Yes, but I mean...
She is willing. Make the most of it.
I did ask, but I know I asked too much.
Only that kiss.
Are you still there? We were speaking of...
A kiss. The word is sweet. What will the deed be? Are your lips afraid even of its burning name? Not much afraid. Not too much. Have you not unwittingly laid aside laughter, slipping beyond speech, even to tears? One step more, only one, from a tear to a kiss. One step, one thrill.
Hush.
And what is a kiss? A rosy dot over the eye of loving. A secret whispered to listening lips apart. A moment made immortal with a rush of wings unseen. A sacrament of blossoms, a new song sung by two hearts to an old simple tune. The ring of one horizon around two souls together, all alone.
Then come, gather your sacred blossom.
Go, Christian, climb.
Your old new song, your moment made immortal.
Climb up, animal.
Roxanne.
So.
Christian.
Roxanne.
Ah, Roxanne. I've won what I've won, the feast of love. And I am Lazarus. Yet I've something here that is mine now, and was not mine before I spoke the words that won her. Not for me, kissing my words upon your lips.
And thus the poet's words upon the soldier's lips have won the lady's love. Now the setting for our second scene, 15 years later. It is October. Christian has been killed in the wars. On his body was found a letter written on the battlefield. His farewell to Roxanne, which Cyrano had written for him. A letter stained with Christian's blood and Cyrano's tears. Roxanne retired to a convent. Cyrano, for 10 years, has been coming to visit her each week with news of Paris and the court. Above the still living green of the turf, all the foliage is red and yellow and brown. Leaves are falling everywhere, and Roxanne sits and talks with an old friend, De Guiche, once Cyrano's old enemy.
And you remain here, wasting all that beauty, forever in mourning,
Forever,
and still faithful?
and still faithful.
And his last letter, always at your heart?
It hangs here always, at my heart. Sometimes I think he has not altogether died. Our hearts meet, and his love flows all around me, living.
And Cyrano?
I see him every week. My old friend takes the place of my gazette, brings me all the news. Every Saturday under that tree where you are now, his chair stands, if the day be fine. I wait for him embroidering. The hour strikes, then I hear I need not turn to look at the last stroke his cane tapping the steps. He tells me the story of the past week. Ah, here's Lebray. How is it with our friend, with Cyrano?
Badly, madame. Monsieur.
Monsieur.
His satires make a host of enemies.
But they fear that sword of his. No one dare touch him.
And yet, though it is true that no one dares attack your friend, the other day at court, Somebody said to me, this man Cyrano may die accidentally.
Thank you.
You may thank me. Keep him at home all you can. Tell him to be careful.
Careful. Cyrano? Tell him? Oh, no. He'll say I'll die upon what day and in what way I choose myself. Oh, but now 'tis almost time for him to come. So, gentlemen, you will forgive me.
Of course, madame. Adieu.
Adieu. Monsieur, your warning,
Yes, Lebert.
it comes too late. I could not tell her. She need not know so soon. I went to see him today, my friend. As I came near his door, I saw him coming out. I hurried on to join him. At the corner of the street, as he passed. Could it be an accident, I wonder? At the window overhead, a lackey with a heavy log of wood let it fall.
Cyrano!
I ran to him. I found him lying there, a great hole in his head.
Is he alive?
Alive, yes, but I had to carry him up to his room.
Is he suffering?
No, unconscious.
The doctor?
One came for charity. He said fever and lesions of the, I forget those long names. Oh, if you had seen him there.
Let us go quickly. There's no one to care for him. All alone, he may die.
There, the hour. He will be coming now. All done striking? He never was so late before. Certainly nothing could ever keep him away. Ah, his cane. After 14 years late, for the first time?
I was detained by
Well,
a visitor, most unexpected.
did you tell him to go away?
For the time being, yes. I said, excuse me, this is Saturday. I have a previous engagement, one I cannot miss, even for you. Come back an hour from now.
Your friend will have to wait. I shall not let you go till dark.
Perhaps a little before dark. I must go.
Here, sit here in your chair beneath this tree.
The leaves.
What color? Perfect Venetian red.
Yes, they know how to die. A little way from the branch to the earth. A little fear of mingling with the common dust. And yet they go down gracefully. A fall that seems like flying.
Melancholy. You?
I know, Roxanne.
Then let the leaves fall. Tell me now the court news. My Gazette.
Let me see.
Ah,
Saturday the 19th. The king fell ill after 8 helpings of grape marmalade. His malady was brought before the court, found guilty of high treason, whereupon his majesty revived. The royal pulse is now normal. Sunday the 20th. The queen gave a grand ball, at which they burned 763 wax candles. No, 22nd. All the court has gone to Fontainebleau.
Cyrano.
Oh, nothing. My old wound at Arras. Sometimes, you know.
Oh, my poor old
it's
friend.
nothing. It will soon be gone. There. It is gone.
We all have our old wounds. I have mine here at my heart. This faded scrap of writing. It's hard to read now. All but the blood and the tears.
His letter. Did you not promise me that someday you would let me read it?
His letter? You wish?
I do wish it today.
Here.
Farewell, Roxanne. Because today I die.
Aloud.
I know that it will be today, my own dearly beloved. My heart still so heavy with love I have not told, and I die without telling you.
How you read it, his letter.
I remember now the way you have of pushing back a lock of hair with one hand from your forehead. And my heart cries out.
His letter. And you read it so...
Cries out and keeps crying, farewell, my dear, my dearest.
In a voice...
My own heart's own, my own treasure.
In such a voice.
My love.
As I remember hearing long ago.
I am never away from you. Even now I shall not leave you. In another world, I shall be still that one who loves you beyond measure, beyond...
How can you read now? It is dark. And all these 14 years you have been the old friend who came to me to be amusing.
Roxanne.
It was you. And I might have known every time that I heard you speak my name.
No, it was not I.
It was you.
I swear.
I understand everything else now. The letters, that was you. And the dear foolish words, that was you.
No.
And the voice in the dark, that was you.
On my honor.
And the soul, that was all you.
I never loved you.
Yes, you loved me. Even now you love me.
No.
And why so great a no?
No, no, my own dear love, I love you not.
How many things have died and are newborn? Why were you silent for so many years? All the while, every night and every day, you gave me nothing. You knew that. You knew here in this letter lying on my breast, your tears. You knew they were your tears.
The blood was his.
And why do you break that silence now, today?
Why? Oh, because... Oh, nothing. I did not finish my Gazette. Saturday 26th, an hour or so before dinner, Monsieur de Bergerac died, foully murdered.
Cyrano, what have they done to you?
Struck down by the sword of a hero let me fall, steel in my heart and laughter on my lips. Yes, I said that once. How fate loves a jest. Behold me ambushed, taken in the rear, my battlefield a gutter, my noble foe a lackey with a log of wood. It seems too logical. I have missed everything, even my death. They're going to pray now. There goes the bell.
Sister, sister.
No, no, no. Do not go away. I may not still be here when you return.
You shall not die. I love you.
No, that is not in the story.
Oh, my love.
Philosopher and scientist, poet, musician, duelist, he flew high and fell back again. A pretty wit, whose like we lack, a lover, not like other men. Here lies Hercule Savinien de Cyrano de Bergerac, who was all things, and all in vain. Well, I must go. Pardon, I cannot stay.
I never loved but one man in my life. And I have lost him twice.
Oh, not here, not lying down. Let no one help me, no one. Only the tree is coming. I feel already shod with marble, gloved with lead. Let the old fellow come now. He shall find me on my feet, sword in hand.
Oh, Cyrano.
I can see him there. He grins. He's looking at my nose. That skeleton. What's that you say? Hopeless? Why, very well. But a man does not fight merely to win. No. Better to know one fights in vain. You there, who are you? I know you now, my ancient enemies. Falsehood, there, prejudice, compromise, cowardice. What's that? Surrender? No, never, never. Ah, you too. Vanity. I knew you would overthrow me in the end. No, I fight on. I fight on. I fight on.
Cyrano.
Yes, all my laurels you have riven away, and all my roses. Yet in spite of you, there is one crown I bear away with me. And tonight, when I enter before God, my salute shall sweep all the stars away from the blue threshold. One thing without stain, unspotted from the world, in spite of doom, my own. And that is...
And that is...
my white plume.
Thank you. In a moment, Walter Hamden will be back and will tell you about next week's play. But now, an important message inspired by the great scenes just portrayed.
Today, all of us are deeply troubled by the discords and divisions of the world we live in. We are frightened by the dark shadows of war, which fall across even our brightest days. How, we ask ourselves, how can we make sense out of this confused and troubled world? The answer to that question is not simple. No one of us is wise enough. No one of us is influential enough to change the immediate conditions under which we have to live. Yet there's something each one of us can do. We can start by seeing to it that we're the kind of people who are ready to live in a better world. The place to begin is with ourselves. In tonight's famous play, Cyrano's lifelong, self-denying love for Roxanne moved us deeply. How is a man able to rise to such heights of character? He did it not by crying out in bitterness over his physical ugliness. He did it not by turning his clever wit to destroy the happy marriage of Christian and Roxanne. He did it not by making over the circumstances in which he lived. He did it by making something out of himself. Now, to win any battle with yourself isn't easy, but it's easier if you have help. It's easier if you have encouragement. It's easier if you have guidance. One of the best ways to find such help is to seek it from the church through an experienced clergyman. If you're a member of the church, you will already know from your own experience that this is true. If you're not a member of a church, we urge you to discover just how much richer your life can become, to discover just how much help you can get when you receive that which only the church can give. Now, perhaps the Episcopal Church will be able to give you what you need. To assist you to know something about the Episcopal Church, what it is, what it stands for, and how it offers you a faith to live by in these difficult times, we have prepared an informative booklet called Finding Your Way. This booklet will be sent to you if you'll send a postcard or letter with your name and address to the station to which you're listening.
In a moment, Walter Hamden, tonight's star in Cyrano De Bergerac, will tell you about next week's great scenes from great plays. But first, Mr. Hamden, may I say how wonderful it was hearing you as Cyrano again.
It was wonderful being here, Mr. Daly.
And now, with your permission, I would like to announce, on behalf of the Episcopal Actors Guild, that beginning next week, Walter Hamden will return to this new series as your permanent host.
As you have just heard, it will be my happy privilege to act as your host on this program in the weeks to come. My responsibilities will indeed be pleasant, since we have planned many evenings of delightful entertainment. You will hear many old favorites, inspiring plays that have made theatrical history. And here to bring them to life will be the most distinguished artists of the stage and screen, so that you may be truly assured of enjoying great scenes from great plays. Next week, it will be our pleasure to present The Corn is Green with the distinguished star of the American stage, Miss Jane Cowell. I hope you will join us. Now, an invitation from the Episcopal Church.
The Episcopal Church in your community cordially invites you to attend services this Sunday morning. If you're not familiar with the location of your nearest Episcopal church or of the hours of service, you'll find both listed in your local newspaper or church directory. Your rector will be happy to have you join the Episcopal family. You'll find him waiting to welcome you personally when the services are concluded. Great scenes from great plays, with your host, Walter Hamden, and starring tonight Miss Jane Cowell in The Corn is Green. On behalf of the Episcopal families in your own community and the Episcopal Actors Guild, welcome to another half hour of dramatic inspiration transcribed from great plays of our American theater. I present your host, the distinguished actor-manager, Mr. Walter Hamden.
Thank you, and good evening. I'm particularly fond of the story we're going to recreate tonight because it's one that proves the miracle of courage and the satisfaction of achievement. It's The Corn is Green by Emlyn Williams. And here to portray the remarkable and lovable character of Miss Moffat, I'm happy to have you meet the distinguished artist, Miss Jane Cowell.
Thank you, Walter, and good evening, friends. The role of Miss Moffat in The Corn is Green has always held a soft spot in my heart. Every woman will sympathize with her weakness. Every man will admire her strength. And I like to think that her counterpart exists in many a city, town, and hamlet, perhaps just around the corner from you.
Yes, Jane, and for that reason, I'm sure we'll all have something pleasant to share. So let us raise the curtain now on The Corn is Green, starring Jane Cowell as Miss Moffat, with Richard Waring as Morgan Evans. Our scene, the small coal mining village of Glensarno, nestled in the remote rolling hills of Wales. Its people are happy, though poor, but they are cut off from learning by the iron hand of poverty that governs their existence. Into this bleak setting comes a courageous woman, a teacher, named Miss Moffat. Having already enlisted the aid of a local woman, Miss Moffat has rolled up her sleeves.
Now tell me, Miss Ronbury, you've lived here all your life. How many families are there around here?
Families? Well, there's the squire, of course, and Mrs...
No, I mean the ordinary people, the villagers.
There are about 20 families in the village, Miss Moffat, and 15 in the farms around.
Many children?
What age?
Well, up to 16 or 17.
Oh, around here they're only children till they're 12. Then they're sent away over the hills to the mine.
Oh.
And in 1 week, they are old men.
I see. How many can read or write?
Next to none. Why do you ask that?
Do you see those books I brought with me?
Yes.
Hundreds of them. Something wonderful to read in every single one. If the squire can get permission from Sir Herbert Vesey, the owner of that barn next door, I'm going to start a school immediately.
A school?
Yes, a school. And you, Miss Ronbury, are going to help me. Sir Herbert regrets he cannot give a definite decision until the 17th. Oh, another week wasted. This is infuriating.
Does it mean he may not let you have it?
Oh, he must let me have it. It would ruin everything.
Maybe we could find another empty building somewhere.
No, I felt so right here from the start. I can't leave now. I'm a Christian woman, but I could slap Sir Herbert's face until my arm dropped off.
Miss Moffat, excuse me, please.
Yes? Oh, Evans, what is it? What's that you've got there?
It's the bell, miss, for the school.
Oh, yes, well, put it up, boy.
Yes, miss. Right away, miss.
Good boy, that Morgan Evans.
Oh, they're all good, but they need a chance to become better.
Miss Moffat, do you really think... I'll go.
Thanks.
Oh, Squire.
Good evening. May I come in?
I'm rather irritable this evening, Squire, so unless there's a reason for your visit...
Oh, but there is. A very important message. Word of mouth from Sir Herbert.
Sir Herbert? Oh, do be quick.
He has definitely decided that he has no use for the barn.
Oh, thank heaven. Yes?
He does not see it as a school, and under no circumstances will he let it be used as such.
Why, but he implied in his first letter that he'd be willing to sell.
Then some bigwig must have made him change his mind, eh?
You
Madam, I've been eyeing your activities very closely from afar, and I'm not going to have any of this hanky-panky in my village.
Your village?
My village. Now, I'm no braggart, madam. I'd have you know that everything you can see from that window when you haven't got a bad view, I own. And so, my dear madam...
Stop calling me your dear madam. I'm not married, I'm not French, and you haven't the slightest affection for me.
All my life, I've done my level best for the villagers. They call me squire. A term of affection, you know. Jolly touching.
Yes, jolly.
I'm doing what's best for them, that's all. You're putting them up to read English and pothooks and giving them ideas. What do you want to do? Turn them into gentlemen? Well, I'll be going. Anything I can do to make your stay here a happier one?
Just a minute, Squire.
Miss Moffat.
Yes?
So you're the Squire Bountiful, are you? Well, I should just like to point out that there is a considerable amount of dirt, ignorance, misery, and discontent in this world, and a good deal of it is due to people like you.
I beg your pardon, madam.
Miss Moffat,
Because
please.
you're a conceited, good-for-nothing, addle-pated nincompoop.
Madam, I've heard enough. Good day.
So have I. Good day.
Miss Moffat, I've sent the letters to the tradespeople and the mine.
Did you tell them we were giving up the school?
Yes.
Oh, well, we'd better start putting some order into this chaos. What are those filthy exercise books doing among my papers?
The boys who came for the first class. Remember, you picked them out because they could write English.
Oh, yes. I assigned them an essay on how I would spend my holiday. Oh, I must have been mad. Just listen to this. If I has ever a holiday, I has breakfast and talks, then dinner and a rest, tea, then nothing, then supper, then I talk, and I go to sleep. Oh, poor boy.
Maybe you'd best not read the others, Miss Moffat.
Oh, but I'd like to. You run along.
All right. I'll be in the garden should you need me.
The mine is dark. If a light come in the mine, the rivers in the mine will run fast with the voice of many women.
I put up the bell, miss.
The walls will fall in... What was that?
I put up the bell.
Oh, very well, Evans. But when I walk through the shaft in the dark, I can touch with my hands the leaves on the trees, and underneath, where the corn is green, there's a wind in the shaft, not carbon monoxide they talk about. It smells like the sea, only like as if the sea had fresh flowers lying about. And that is my holiday. You know it. You wrote this.
Yes, miss?
Oh, come here. Sit down. Where do you live?
Under the ground, miss.
No, I mean your home.
Llyn miss. Moffat, 4 miles from here.
Do you live with your parents?
No, by my own self. My mother is dead, and my father and my 4 big brothers was in the big shaft accident when I was 10.
Killed?
Oh, yes, everybody was.
Who taught you to read and write?
Taught?
Taught, the verb to teach.
I did.
Why?
I don't know. Can I go now, please?
Do you want to learn any more?
No, thank you.
Why not?
The other men would have a good laugh.
Oh, I see. Have you ever written anything before this exercise?
No. What is the matter with it?
Nothing. It shows exceptional talent for a boy in your circumstances.
It is news to me.
And how does the news make you feel?
Makes me that I want to get more clever still. I want to know what is behind all of them books.
Can you come tomorrow?
Not before 7, miss. I am working on the 6 till 4 shift. 6 miles to walk.
Oh, yes. Well, of course. 7, then. That'll be all. Now, you may go.
Good night, Miss Moffat.
Miss Runbury! Miss Runbury, come quickly! Oh, what a fool I've been. What a fool.
Yes, Miss Moffat. What is it?
Have you sent those letters yet?
Well, I left them to be...
No, rush down and get them back. Quickly, before they're posted.
But, Miss Moffat...
We're going on with the school. In a small way, at first, in this room. And I'm going to get those youngsters out of that mine if I have to go down and fetch them myself.
And so the little home became a schoolhouse. Charts and maps hung in place of pictures. Desks took the place of furniture. Dishes and cups and saucers on the shelves found themselves homeless, while volume upon volume of learning moved in. And every day for 2 years, from all directions, came children and adults alike, eagerly satisfying their hunger for knowledge. But Morgan Evans, who unwittingly was responsible for the whole thing, was by far the most prominent and advanced among the students.
Capital of Turkey.
Constantinople,
Germany.
Berlin,
England.
London.
Oh, excellent, Evans. Recess now. Be back in an hour. All right, Evans. Voltaire. Born when?
1694.
Good. His best works?
Philosophy of history, the Eastern romances, study of nature.
Your reading?
Burke's Cause of the Discontents.
Style?
His style appears to me as if there was too much of it.
Oh, matter of fact, that's quite accurate, Evans. Quite accurate.
Miss Moffat?
Yes.
I'm back.
Did you get everything?
Yes, new shirt for Mr. Owen, blouse for Mrs. Roberts, shoes for old Tom,
Won't he be surprised?
and the suit for Morgan Evans.
You got the suit? Oh, I'm so happy.
You might not be when I tell you the price.
Oh, price. I'm hatching plans. Wonderful plans.
Plans?
Don't ask me what. I can't tell you yet. Now, let me see Morgan's new suit.
How's the prize pupil doing?
Oh, so well that it frightens me. He'll be starting Greek this month.
I didn't know you knew Greek.
No, I don't. I've just got to keep one day ahead of him and trust to luck. Oh, let me see that suit.
Oh, it's you, Morgan. Miss Moffat's having something to eat. I believe she has a surprise for you.
And I have been having something to drink.
Oh.
So I have a surprise for her. Me and the squire's been having a nice talk. He set me straight, he did.
Morgan, I've never seen you like this before. You'll break Miss Moffat's heart. Please go before she comes and sees you.
Before she says, come back to your little cage, and if you comb hair and wash hands and get your grammar right, we might give you a nice bit of sewing to do.
Oh, Evans, you're back. Good. Did you work out the Voltaire translation?
I shall not need Voltaire in the coal mine.
Morgan, how could you? Oh, Miss Moffat.
I don't understand. What is it, Evans?
I am going back to the coal mine. The squire says that's where I belong. And right he is.
The squire?
I do not want to learn Greek, nor to pronounce any long English words, nor to keep my hands clean.
But Evans, what's happened to you? Why not?
Because I was born in a Welsh hayfield when my mother was helping with the harvest. And I always lived in a house with no stairs, only a ladder, and no water. And until my brother's was killed, I never sleep except 3 in a bed. I know that is terrible grammar, but it is true.
But I had no idea you felt like this.
The last 2 years, I have not had no proper talk with English chaps in the mine because I was so busy keeping this old grammar in its place, trying to better myself. Trying to better myself the day and the night. Evans, write me an essay. Evans, what is a subjunctive?
Stop it, Evans. Evans, I never meant you to know this. I've spent money on you. I don't mind that. Money ought to be spent. But time is different. 2 years is valuable currency. I've spent the past 2 years on you. Sometimes in the middle of the night, when I've been desperately tired, I've lain awake making plans for you.
I don't need your plans. I can plan for myself now.
Evans, I can't stay here forever. There was one big thing I wanted to do before I left, and it was all wrapped up in you. I wanted to... Well, if I say any more, I shall start to cry. And I haven't cried since I was younger than you are. And I'd never forgive you for that. Please leave now, Evans. Please. Miss Ronbury, I have a score to settle with the squire, and it might as well be done right away.
But, Miss Moffat...
The squire doesn't know it yet, but he's about to join our team. I'll thank you to get word to him that I wish to see him right away.
Here? Oh, Miss Moffat, you can't be serious.
Oh, yes, I can. 2 weeks ago, I entered Morgan Evans for a scholarship to Oxford University.
Oxford?
His chances are excellent. But for certain very important reasons, I can't go ahead without the help of the squire.
But surely the squire isn't going to... I mean, after what he's just done.
The stakes are high, but everything I've worked for is in the balance. I've got to beat the squire at his own game.
Sent word you wish to see me. I have not a great deal of time to spare, I fear.
Oh, of course not, Squire. I was just saying to Miss Ronbury, he's so busy he'll never be able to fit it in. I'm told you made a most amazing speech at the fair this afternoon.
Oh, did they tell you about it?
Oh, I had so hoped to be there. Everybody's talking about it.
Really? I thought that... may I sit down?
Please do.
I thought Griffith the butcher was going to laugh his napper off.
Do you know, Squire, that makes me rather proud.
Oh, why so?
Well, he never would have understood a word if he hadn't learned English at my school.
Huh? Oh, I never thought of it like that.
Squire, you see before you a tired woman. We live and learn, and I've learned how right you were that night when I first came here.
But I've heard you were a spiffing success.
Oh, no. You see, in one's womanly enthusiasm, one forgets that the qualities vital to success in this sort of venture are completely lacking in a woman. Intelligence, courage, and authority. The qualities, in short, of a man.
Well, fair of you to admit it, I must say, but you mustn't be too hard on yourself.
Oh, it's kind of you to say that.
After all, you meant well.
Yes, but one gets into such muddles. And like a true woman, I have to call for help to a man. To you, Squire.
To me? Well, now, what is it that you want, dear lady?
Well, it's about Morgan Evans, one of your miners.
Oh.
He's clever, oh, very clever, quite out of the ordinary. He was born with very exceptional gifts.
Oh, you don't tell me.
He must be given every chance. This tenant of yours, Squire, has it in him to bring great credit to you.
Yes, he is a tenant of mine, isn't he?
Imagine if you could say that you had known, well, let's say Lord Tennyson as a boy on your estate. Poor Evans. If only he'd been born at the beginning of the 18th century, he would have had a patron.
How's that?
Think of the pride that would surge in your bosom if you could give encouragement to a poor and humble writer.
Do you mean Evans might be a literary bloke?
Yes, he might well turn into a literary bloke.
Well, if the boy is really clever, it does seem a pity not to do something about it,
yes,
doesn't
but we
it?
can do something, Squire. There's a scholarship going to Oxford.
Oxford, eh?
I wrote to your brother at Magdalen. They've agreed to make a special case of this boy on one condition, that you will vouch for him. Oh, will you?
Well, hang it all. He'll never get it, you know.
Oh, but he must have the chance to try.
Well, I suppose you're right. Still, this prospect of his...
Squire, think of Tennyson.
Tennyson? Oh, yes. Well, very well. I'll drop a line to Sir Henry immediately. Well, I must run along now.
Oh, of course. I've been very selfish to keep you so long. Thank you very much, Squire.
So it was that Miss Moffat, in one last desperate effort, brought the squire around to her side of the fence. So much so that on that important day, when everyone was nervously waiting Evan's return from his examination for the scholarship, the good squire was the most nervous of all. Indeed, he paced the floor like an expectant father.
For goodness sake, Squire, sit down. Anybody'd think you were walking a marathon.
My nerves won't stand much more of this waiting, Miss Moffat.
Could I get you something to drink, Squire?
Oh, I doubt if I'd be able to swallow it, Miss Ronbury. I say, Miss Moffat, do you think Evans will make it?
If he checks himself and doesn't start telling them what they ought to think of Shakespeare, he stands a good chance.
But just suppose he loses out.
Oh, if he has lost, we must proceed as if nothing had happened. But he can't lose. He mustn't.
Oh, by the way, I bought the farm from Sir Herbert.
Really? Whatever for?
Well, I've been thinking things over. Education's a mighty important thing, and I figure if we can move all this next door where there's more room,
Oh, Squire, I don't know what to say.
Miss Moffat, Squire, he's coming up the walk. He's here.
Well, open the door. Open the door for him.
Hello, everybody. I'm back.
Oh, my boy, welcome. Welcome home.
Thank you, Squire. Miss Moffat. Miss Runberry.
Hello, Morgan.
Evans. Well?
I don't know the result. They were to notify you. Haven't you heard?
Not yet. But do you think...
It was not an easy examination. They jumped down hard, just as you said they would. I was terribly nervous. My collar stud flew off, and I had to hold on to my collar with one hand.
And the other candidates, how did they strike you?
2 from Eton and 1 from Harrow, and one of them very rich. I had never thought a scholarship man might be rich. But as I was leaving, the examiners appeared to be sorry for me in some way.
My boy, you don't think you failed?
Failed? Oh, don't speak about it.
We must. You faced the possibility the day you left for Oxford.
I know, but I have been to Oxford and come back since then. I've come back from the world. Since the day I was born, I have been a prisoner behind a stone wall. And now somebody has given me a leg up to have a look at the other side. They cannot drag me back again. They cannot. They must give me a push and send me over.
I've never heard you talk so much since I've known you.
That's just it. I can talk now. The 3 days I have been there, I have been talking my head off. The words came pouring out of me. All the words that I had learnt and written down and never spoken. All the thoughts that you had given to me were being stored away, aching for the chance to get out in the open. And I saw this room, this little schoolhouse in the hills, and you and me, Miss Moffat, sitting here studying. And all those books, and everything I'd ever learned from those books and from you was lighted up like a magic lantern. Everything had a meaning because I was in a new world. My world. Mine because you gave it to me. I finished.
I don't want you to stop.
I had not been drinking. You see, I can talk to you too now.
I know. And I'm glad. Oh, Miss Runbury, would you...
Allow me, my dear Miss Moffat. Oh, it's here, the telegram from Oxford.
Oh, dear Lord, please, please.
Miss Moffat, I am nervous.
Oh, no, steady. Win or lose, we must both be steady.
Well, for heaven's sake, lady, open the thing. I can't bear this suspense.
Oh, thank God. You've won.
Morgan, you've won. You've won.
Congratulations, my boy. Come on, Miss Ronberry. We must round up the villagers.
Yes, Squire. Oh, Morgan, I'm so happy. I'm coming, Squire. I'm coming.
Well, Evans?
Well?
You've been given the push over the wall that you asked for.
Yes, thanks to you.
I suppose now there's no harm in telling you something.
Yes?
I don't think you realize quite what your future can become if you give it the chance. You have it within your power to become a great man of our country. My work is about over. Yours is just beginning. Remember you said, if a light come in the mine.
Yes.
I want you to make that light come in the mine, Morgan Evans, and someday free those children as I've tried to free you. I want you to be a symbol, a man for a future nation to be proud of.
Miss Moffat, I do not know what to say.
Well, then don't say it.
I have been so much time in this room.
Yes, and the lessons are over.
I shall always remember.
I'm glad. And I hope with all my heart that someday, somehow, you'll know what I felt at this moment and how much better my life has been because of you.
ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back in a moment to tell you about next week's program. First, however, a message of importance to you.
In tonight's scenes from Emlyn Williams' play, The Corn is Green, there is an inspiring lesson that is especially appropriate right now. That lesson is in the development of the young Welsh coal miner Morgan Evans by Miss Moffat. It's a fine example of how much good teachers mean to the youth of any community. Today, the importance of good teachers and of proper education cannot be overemphasized. Our future as a nation, and through us, the future of the world, will depend to a large extent on the educational job that's done for our youth in the days ahead. But the importance of good and wise teachers doesn't stop with our school days. Throughout all of our lives, we need the guidance of good teachers to help us with our spiritual problems, to help us find the strength and security that can come into our hearts only when we live and think according to the teaching of Christ. Certainly one of the best ways to get the help of wise and experienced spiritual teaching is to seek it through the clergymen of your church. If you're a member of some church, you already know from your own experience that this is true. If you're not a member of any church, we urge you to discover just how much richer your life can be when you receive the kind of education and guidance that only the church can give. Perhaps you'll be able to find the help you need in the Episcopal Church. You are always welcome at your nearest Episcopal Church, and its clergyman is always ready and eager to give you whatever help you may require. To help you know something about the Episcopal Church, what it is, what it stands for, and how it offers you a faith with which to find security and happiness in these difficult times, we have prepared an informative booklet called Finding Your Way. It'll be sent to you promptly if you'll simply write your name and address on a postcard and mail it to the station to which you're listening.
I would like to thank Jane Cowell and Richard Waring for a very inspiring performance. Next week, friends, we shall have the pleasure of presenting one of the most beautiful love stories in literary history, The Barretts of Wimpole Street. Here to play the roles of the immortal lovers will be Mr. Basil Rathbone and Miss Beatrice Straight. I hope you will be with us. Now, an invitation from the Episcopal Church.
Freedom of education is a priceless heritage, an indispensable part of the American way of life. But beyond the realm of academic education, it is only natural that every parent should want his child to experience the enlightenment of living a Christian life. Sunday schools offer this opportunity to your children. Why not speak to your rector about church schools after services this Sunday? He'll be happy to familiarize you with the carefully planned activities the church offers to children of all ages.